Good morning everyone. Myself Kajrin Rahman, BSc Nursing 4th year student from Alia University. Today I will discuss about the topic named preterm labor or premature labor. As Joinava has said the hub part of this topic, I will discuss the rest of this topic. Due to lockdown, I have not my content at my hand, so I am unable to discuss my patient details. Let's discuss about the topic. I will cover these points. Number 1, diagnostic evaluation. Number 2, prevention of preterm labor. Number 3, investigation of prevention of preterm labor. Number 4, management. Number 5, predictors. Number 6, medical management. Number 7, management during labor. Number 8, nursing management. Number 9, nursing diagnosis. And number 10, health education. At first, the diagnostic evaluations are: number 1, uterine contractions. If regular uterine contractions with or without pain occur at least 1 in every 10 minutes. Number 2, dilatation and effacement of the cervix. If dilatation occurs greater than equals to 2 cm and effacement occurs 80% of the cervix. Number 3, length of the cervix, that is measured by TVS, less than equals to 2.5 cm and funneling of the internal os. Number 4, pelvic pressure and backache and or vaginal discharge or bleeding. Next, prevention of preterm labor. How we can prevent this case? At first, in about 50% cases, the cause remains unknown. However, the following guidelines are adopted. At first, primary care is given. Primary care is given to reduce the incidence of preterm labor by reducing the high risk factors such as infection. And number 2, secondary care. That includes screening test for early detection and prophylactic treatment, that is tocolytics. Number 3, tertiary care, which is aimed to reduce the perinatal morbidity and mortality after the diagnosis, that is use of corticosteroids. Then the investigations for prevention of preterm labor. Number 1, full blood count. Number 2, urine test for routine analysis, culture and sensitivity. Number 3, cervicovaginal swab for culture and fibronectin. Later I will discuss about the term fibronectin. Number 4, USG, ultrasonography for fetal well-being, cervical length and placental localization. Number 5, serum electrolytes and glucose levels, which are measured when tocolytic agents are to be used. Then the main topic, the management. How we will manage the case? The principles for management of preterm labor includes: number 1, to prevent preterm onset of labor if possible. Number 2, to arrest preterm labor. Number 3, appropriate management of labor. And number 4, effective neonatal care. Then comes to predictors of the preterm labor. There are 3 types of predictors, that is clinical predictors, biophysical predictors and biochemical predictors. In clinical predictors, number 1, history of prior preterm birth. Number 2, multiple pregnancy. Number 3, presence of genital tract infections. And number 4, symptoms of PTL, that is preterm labor. The symptoms are abdominal pain, vaginal bleeding and dull backache. Then the next point, biophysical predictors. Under biophysical predictors, there comes uterine contractions, that is greater than equals to 4 per hour. Number 2, Bishop score, greater than equals to 4. Bishop score is also known as cervix score, is a pre-labor scoring system to assist in predicting whether induction of labor will be required. And the cervical length, which is measured by TVS, less than equals to 25 mm. Then comes to biochemical predictors. Number 1, fetal fibronectin in cervicovaginal discharge. Fibronectin is a glycoprotein that binds the fetal membranes to the decidua. Normally it is found in the cervicovaginal discharge before 22 weeks and again after 37 weeks of pregnancy. Presence of fibronectin in the cervicovaginal discharge between 24 weeks and 34 weeks is a predictor of preterm labor. When the test is negative, it reassures that delivery will not occur within next 7 days. And the others are IL-6, 8 and TNF alpha. Then comes to medical management. In medical management, first glucocorticoid therapy is given. Maternal administration of glucocorticoids is advocated where the pregnancy is less than 34 weeks. This helps in fetal lung maturation so that the incidence of respiratory distress syndrome, intraventricular hemorrhage and necrotizing enterocolitis are minimized. This is beneficial when the delivery is delayed between 48 hours of the first dose. There are two types of drugs which are given in glucocorticoid therapy, that are betamethasone and dexamethasone. Then the next tocolytic agents are given. Tocolytic agents are nifedipine, atosiban, which are used to inhibit uterine contractions. The tocolytic agents can be used as short-term or long-term therapy. Then the third one, magnesium sulfate. Magnesium sulfate to the mother to reduce neonatal cerebral palsy when pregnancy is less than 34 weeks. The dose of magnesium sulfate and monitoring are same as used for seizure prophylaxis of preeclampsia. 4 gram IV over 3 to 5 minutes followed by an infusion of 1 gram per hour. Then the last one is antibiotics. Antibiotics are given to prevent neonatal infection with group B streptococcus. Then the management during labor. Management during labor, the principles are followed are: number 1, to prevent birth asphyxia and development of respiratory distress syndrome. Number 2, to prevent birth trauma. In management of during labor, the first stage management are we have to put the patient to bed to prevent early rupture of the membranes. Number 2, to ensure adequate fetal oxygenation by giving oxygen to the mother by mask. Number 3, epidural analgesia is of choice. Number 4, cesarean delivery is done for obstetric reasons only, that is hypertension, abruption or malpresentation. Routine cesarean delivery is not recommended. Preterm fetuses before 34 weeks presented by bridge are generally delivered by cesarean section. Lower segment vertical or J-shaped incision may have to be made to minimize trauma during delivery. This is due to poor formation of the lower uterine segment. In second stage management, the birth should be gentle and slow to avoid rapid compression and decompression of the head. Number 2, episiotomy may be done to minimize head compression if there is perineal resistance. Number 3, the cord is to be clamped immediately at birth to prevent hypovolemia and hyperbilirubinemia. Number 4, to shift the baby to neonatal intensive care unit under the care of a neonatologist. Then comes to nursing management. At first, we have to assess the mother's condition and evaluate signs of labor. Number 2, we have to evaluate the fetus for distress, size and maturity. Number 3, we have to perform measures to manage or stop preterm labor. Number 4, we have to provide physical and emotional support, provide adequate hydration. And number 5, we have to provide client and family education. Then comes to nursing diagnosis. Number 1, risk for fetal injury related to delivery of preterm infant. Number 2, acute pain related to uterine contractions as evidenced by reports of pain, discomfort and facial expression. Number 3, deficient knowledge related to lack of information as evidenced by verbalization of misconception. And number 4, activity intolerance related to muscle hypersensitivity and stress as evidenced by reduced activity level. Then the health education, which we have to provide for client and client's family. Number 1, we have to tell them to maintain adequate hydration, because to improve hydration level or reduce bladder irritation that may accompany a urinary tract infection. Number 2, we have to tell them to take adequate bed rest. The patient is to lie preferably in left lateral position. Number 3, we have to teach them to empty the bladder frequently, because a full bladder may be associated with uterine irritability and contractions. Number 4, we have to teach them for prophylactic cervical cerclage. Prophylactic cervical cerclage is also known as a cervical stitch, is a treatment for cervical weakness. When the cervix starts to shorten and opens too early during a pregnancy, causing either a late miscarriage or preterm birth. It's for women with preterm birth and short cervix in the present pregnancy may be beneficial. Number 5. Sexual activity may have to be stopped. It is depending on medical conditions. Report any symptoms of preterm labor which continue for more than 1 hour after sexual activity. Number 6. We have to teach them to stop physical activity. Thank you. Wish you a good day.